It's a big week for our abandoned cottage renovation.
And an emotional milestone on the homestead.
Nobody break an arm, please. So here we are, people, very exciting. We're at the precipice of the next massive milestone, which is this cottage will receive its final floor finish of the screed. Well, I say not the final aesthetic finish of it being tiled or whatever we choose to do on the final finish, but the final structural finish, which is the heated underfloor screed, is getting laid tomorrow. So I've done all of the necessary prep work, so you've obviously seen all of the actual pipes being laid. So I'm using the same scaffold pole and adjustable height saddle system that I used on the subfloor. The scaffold poles sit in these saddles. These are all adjustable heights, so they're all now set and level. The laser has been put to good use, verified with some old school bubbles. So that piece is done. The expansion joint is all in situ, so we've got one in the lounge separating the two halves, the two underfloor heating loops, the same in the bedroom separating the room in half, and then a couple between the door thresholds. So we've got one on the door threshold there going to the ensuite, and one on the door threshold there going into the utility gym. Yeah, so the expansion joints are in situ. The perimeter foam expansion joint is in situ. So we've got some spongy foam here running all the way around the outside of every room. So a minor detail, but some extra insurance against any potential thermal expansion contraction issues. So that's all sorted. The ensuite, of course, is a bit of a pickle. So I haven't finished the prep work in that. I'm going to lay the screed on a separate occasion. So tomorrow I'm hopefully going to get the bedroom nailed and the lounge nailed, but the ensuite, because there is a bunch of finicky detail in here, such as the shower. This is going to be a wet room floor, so the shower area, there's going to be a fall towards the drain there, which means that it's not going to be just a standard flat floor. I need to build in the appropriate level so that the water drains in towards the drain. There's a bunch of faffery there, which I haven't had a chance to get into situ to make sure that all of the falls are correct gradients and all the rest of it. Yeah, that detail hasn't been nailed down. I've left it till last because it's really kind of awkward finicky work. Hand mixing these batches of screed, I don't think we'd get to this room anyway tomorrow when we start laying the floor. So that's one of the few advantages of mixing it up yourself. There's no time limits, you know, you're only limited by the time frame that you set on yourself. No hassle, no stress. We'll do what we can do, and if it doesn't get done, then it will just get done another day. So, and that's another beauty of these expansion joints, that can act as a day joint. So if need be, if for whatever reason, you know, there's an emergency, the water runs out and we can't knock up our mixes, you know, somebody breaks an arm, nobody break an arm, please. You have to stop for whatever reason. Then, you know, these expansion joints act as a nice kind of day joints, they call it, where we can actually stop our work and we don't have to continue. Yeah, it should be a hassle-free. Well, it's going to be laborious. Lots of physical labour involved, lots of sweat, lots of cement, lots of sand, lots of shoveling, lots of wheelbarrowing, lots of laying, lots of levelling, but it'll be a stress-free day. No concrete trucks turning up with tons and tons and tons of concrete ready that's already drying, already waiting to turn into a very expensive paperweight. None of that business. I say all this now. On the day, I'm probably going to be sweating and busting a gut. But so one of the few remaining pieces of preparation I need to do today is I need to get some shuttering in situ here so that the screed has got something to go up to so that it forms the step. And some shuttering over in the appendage over there and the other smaller appendages in the bedroom. And also, excitingly, or worryingly, I haven't yet pressurised the underfloor heating loop. So none of these pipes have got any water in them. They've all just full of air. It's no good to prove if they've got a leak or not. So before we lay any concrete down, or any floor screed rather, I need to pressurise this manifold, get water in all of these pipes and make sure there are no leaks. Wish me luck. So we've got the flow and return of the manifold here. I've closed off all of the valves, so none of the pipe work is actually open at the minute. I've got the hose from our well coming in here into the flow manifold. I've already opened this up, so there's already water in this manifold, but it's got nowhere to go. The ball valve here is closed, all of the flow valves are closed. On the return manifold, again, everything's closed, including the actual drain point. But this is now going to the outside. And the plan is I'm going to fill up each of the underfloor heating loops one by one, fill them up with water flowing from the well. It's going to come in down through the flow valve, through the pipe, go wiggling its way around around the room that pipe goes to until it ultimately comes back up the return pipe here, up through this return valve, back through this manifold, and then back through and out to the outside world. So then I'll have water flowing from the well through an entire loop, back up into the manifold, and then out the exit pipe here. So when I see water flowing out the exit pipe, the plan is to close off that loop, which I've just completely filled with water, and then move on to the next one until all of the loops are full of water, at which point I'll keep the well pump connected, open them all back up so that they're full of water, and they'll all then be also pressurised by the pressure created by the well pump. And we should see this pressure gauge climb up to the maximum pressure that the actual well pump is trying to maintain. All the pipes fully loaded with water, fresh water mind, just for the moment until it all gets commissioned and glycol and all of the usual special spices and herbs get added to the mix, pressurised, make sure there's no leaks. We'll leave that overnight until tomorrow when the final screed gets laid, and then we should be confident that all is good. It also means not only do we check that there's no leaks, it also puts a bit of pressure on the pipe walls so that as we're screeding, the mass of the screed and us stepping over it, the pipes kind of resist that with the pressure of the water inside. And it also means that if there's any damage while we're laying the screed, which is possible, it won't happen because I've got professionals turning up obviously, but if there is any damage while we're laying the screed, it's evident at the time because water starts spewing all over the workspace, but that won't happen, it's all good. A towel, the most important tool of this job. Yay! Water. Okay, so if we open this flow meter here, number 1, which goes to bedroom 1. So if I open the flow, it shouldn't really flow that much until I open the return valve. Maybe it would. Well, I suppose it's going to displace the air a little bit. I don't know why it's really disturbing sound to hear water trickling. This is a really awkward bucket. I need a smaller one. So when water starts coming out of here, then it will have completely filled the loop, bedroom loop, and then returned back up the return valve and then out this little port here. Don't know if you can hear, but water is flowing. Oh, hello, I can hear something in progress. Yay! We have a trickle of water! Woohoo! So that water is flowing from the well pump down to the caravan, all the way down out the hose, into the manifold flow, through that entire circuit loop which goes to the bedroom, wound its way all the way back up through this flow return manifold, and then out this ball valve into the bucket. Woohoo! Ooh. Now that's satisfying. Look at that. So the first underfloor heating loop has been pressurised for the first time. We can see on the pressure gauge we have 4 bars worth of pressure. So that's obviously the cut-off pressure for the well pump. We should see if I open up the valve now, release the water from the manifold, we should see that drop. Lovely. I'll close it again. And that should now repressurise. Woohoo! Love it when a plan comes together. Right, that's one loop. And I haven't gone in the room to see if there's any leaks because there won't be. Of course there won't. So the only problem with using this setup is these quick connect hoses can fly off and create a swimming pool at any time. So yeah, it's a risky move. I find that sounds so disturbing, trickling water inside your home. I suppose it's probably a good idea to go check the room that the loop, which is supposedly full of water, is not emptying its contents. Good news! I haven't created a swimming pool. Well, I'm going to consider that a premature success right now. I'm going to, won't make you watch me open and close every loop in turn. But if a swimming pool gets created, I'll let you know. But in the meantime, yeah, I'm going to consider that job jobbed.
Big day on the build today. The final level of concrete screed is going down. Feels like such a monumental milestone for us to be completely filled in. It all becomes fun and decor from here on out.
Good man, slow and steady wins the race. Time for comment of the week.
So, comment of the week this week.
From Vicky Rab. Question of the week. Why is it tomfoolery and not Bill foolery or Jim foolery or even Bob foolery? It's a fair question.
It's a fair question. Surely around here it should be K-Man foolery.
It is indeed, yeah. Or Corrie foolery. Well, it brings into question the etymology. We like a bit of etymology of the word tomfoolery. Do you know?
I don't know. I should have looked that up, shouldn't I?
It would have been good.
Homeschool task for this afternoon. We'll get Trev on the case. We also had just a super useful comment from somebody who's made a plan for us for next year.
Right.
You haven't seen this yet?
No.
Have a little read.
If you could wrap your head around some seasonal planning, say very early spring and fall, you could order your compost, polytunnel bits and whatever. Then, since the budget doesn't allow for a vehicle for your new Road Up Hillary, how about renting a vehicle with a trailer for 2 weeks, one in spring, one in fall, and do all of your heavy shifting in one go? If you bought some cheap used pallets, you could put them there to keep everything off the ground and cover with a heavy duty tarp to keep the weather off. Something to think about and research. That's a great idea. Great suggestions, Abigail. Thank you so much for all of that useful input, and it's obviously been carefully considered given our situation, and thanks for trying to solve some of our problems for us.
Do you know what it is?
What's that?
It's food for thought.
Hey.
Thanks everybody for your comments. Every week they matter a lot to us, don't they?
They do matter a lot. We try to read them all, and we're not doing a very good job of...
And fail every week.
True. We're not doing a very good job of responding to as many as we used to, because you know, this project.
As you can imagine,
This project is kind of all-consuming right now, so you know.
But we read a lot more than we get time to even respond to, so we are in there. We love hanging out in the comments with you guys. So do keep commenting, because it really is important to us, and we just love the fact that there's a little community there in the comments, that you guys are chatting to each other. A lot of people this week were asking about why the heck I was making hay tea for the ponies, and we actually had I saw at least one person letting everybody know why that you might want to do that. It's just great to see the conversation and the banter going on down there.
That's the worst bed. Parsnips, you f***ing
How successful is today so far?
Yeah, 10 out of 10.
Nice. Sun's out now.
Sun's out, guns out.
Told you that rainbow this morning meant something.
Yeah, well, even when the lads leave, my job's not done. I've got to do the backfill.
Morning all. Today is a really special day for us here on the homestead, because it is our ponies' 1 year, we're calling it poniversary. So it's exactly 1 year that they've been living with us today. So we've got some special things planned just to make them feel extra loved today and to celebrate, because it's funny because it's been a year, but I kind of feel like I can't remember a time with them not in our lives. They just feel like such a loved and permanent fixture here. First things first, we're going to make them a cake. So Trevor here is just diligently researching all of the ingredients. So you won't normally bake, but if it's for the ponies, then somehow you enjoy it. Is that accurate? Yeah.
Kind of ripped the baking parchment, but that's okay.
See ya! See ya! Boo! See ya!
Oh, no.
See ya!
I'll get past Gavin. Oh, poor guy. She just had it all in one mouthful.
Happy poniversary! Again? tasty.
Yeah, do you want more? There's no more. A crazy little cat.
I get quite emotional thinking about what a gift it's been to have these ponies in our lives. They're quite the characters, and they've just provided us with so much joy and laughter over the last year. We've never owned anything, Kayvan and I, other than maybe he had a cat growing up, or cats, and I had a goldfish. That's literally it. And so, yeah, it was a bit of a steep learning curve finding out how to care for these ponies and manage things like Gavin's lung condition, or how to properly manage their pasture. Okay, we're still learning on that front. But it's been so beautiful watching our daughter rise to the challenge of taking responsibility for this gorgeous pair of ponies. She's always the first to research what's safe for them and look out for their best interests. And she's trained Sia, who wasn't really trained much before, to be an absolute poppet now in hand, on the lead. And for the farrier, which was a big change because the first time we had the farrier out to clip their hooves was, let's say, interesting. And they're just such a source of constant companionship for us and love and joy, and we just feel so grateful that these rescue ponies have come to trust us now. Oh, it just, yeah, I have to stop myself from blubbing. And of course, we're going to be forever thankful to the charity that placed them with us. So here's to many more years together with this silly duo. So, huge week this week. How does it feel to have this? I was going to say to be standing on the screen. We're standing on quite an unsatisfactory plastic covering on top of the screen right now. Makes it feel like a little bit like a crime scene. But how does it feel?
Well, physically, it feels quite strange because we are at an elevation that we haven't been standing on in like 18 months since the original slab was taken out.
Yeah.
So I feel really high up in every room.
I feel tall.
It feels a bit odd. It's like I'm about to touch the ceiling. Oh no, wait, I'm okay. It was an epic milestone. It feels like a real relief, actually. Well, this is the final floor before the aesthetic finish, so tiles or whatever goes on top of this. And you know, we can actually, like, the floor is now in a livable condition, right? We're now one massive step forward to actually moving in.
So here's what happened. Essentially, our tech betrayed us. My camera microphone, we thought, has been a little bit on the fritz, and it wasn't the cable, replaced that. It wasn't the microphone, tried swapping it. Turns out it's the camera itself, which is the worst news on that front, because that would necessitate a whole new camera. Not really within budget right now. Anywho, essentially the static just out of nowhere really crept in to a kind of fever pitch level. I'll give you a quick insight into what that's like. Maybe cover your ears. Ooh, painful, isn't it? And it was such a shame because Kayvan and I just had the best time filming on this day. We haven't filmed to camera in this way in a couple of weeks because of just logistics and craziness on site here. And we had this one window of time. We had such a giggle with you guys, and you guys don't even know it because so much of the footage was just obliterated by the static. So I'm going to quickly recap for you what we said. We thanked the motley crew of ours who helped us out and just did a sterling job laying the screed. Kayvan talked about his relief of having this done. We, of course, just talked about the poniversary and what a blessing those two are, and how these ponies have kept us actually sane, well-ish. You'll see a bit of evidence to the contrary in just a second. Through this tough time, they really have been so good to us. And we thanked an anonymous, lovely viewer of ours for a blue branded tool, the very best kind for those in the know. Very gratefully received. And then that's when things kind of descended, and we had loads of bloopers. I don't know, I might put them in or just show them to you now without the sound. It won't really make sense, but you can see we were having a jolly time. I sang the theme tune to the A-Team. Kayvan did a very ill-advised impression of B.A. Baracus not once but twice.
Pity the fool! Pity the fool that messes with my jewelry!
And we just, carried on with our tomfoolery. Sorry that we were so sabotaged by static this week, guys. And unfortunately, we didn't have time to reshoot. Things are really crazy around here at the moment. But thanks for bearing with us. We'll be back soon, no doubt with some fresh new bloopers for you, because, we just seem incapable of filming without descending into silliness.
Thanks for watching, folks! Like and subscribe. See you next week.
Click the bell! Oh, Homestead is really over.
See you, folks.
Bye! You're a cooking YouTuber now.
I love potatoes. I mean, there's...
I love potatoes.
That's not how they signed off. They did continue.
I love potatoes. Bye!